Time to do some tidying and get all of these dishes cleaned up. That would be the worst part about eating at home, and my dishwasher is broken, so yours truly gets to wash all of these. Round 2, looking much better. Only took about 15 minutes to get the first round in the rack. Keep plugging away. Next thing is to get my stove and all my counters cleaned off. I also will clean the inside of my microwave and get it all cleaned up. And I'll wipe down the front of my stove, wipe down my cabinets, and then get back to my dishes. I've found when I'm cleaning that everything does better if you let it soak. So I've sprayed all my counters and everything down with this cleaner. It's called Tough and Tender by Melaleuca. I can leave a link if you guys are interested in it. But I like to clean with some towels. So I go to the store and I buy like bulk washcloths, and I use these for when I'm wiping down my kitchen, or really anywhere. I have one that I use for getting wet and one to go back and dry with. And I like to use these instead of paper towels, number one, because they don't really cost very much, but also I could just throw them in the wash and it doesn't matter if they come out and have stains on them, because I'm just using them for cleaning. But it cuts down on my trash, cuts down on my waste, and just works better. I don't go through as many paper towels, and these are stronger. Another trick, if you find you have stuff stuck in the crack between your stove and your counter, you can take a rag or a paper towel if that's what you have, take a butter knife, stick a butter knife in the crack, and pull back towards you. And then you have a nice clean crack. On to round 3. Got down to probably one more load. But something that I like to do when I do chores is I like to make them fun, because, you know, they're a part of life and you just have to do it. So one of my tricks while I'm doing dishes is I like to make sure I have really good background music playing, and I really enjoy playing dish rack Jenga. So I try to pack as many things as I can into this dish rack, so that they can all dry together and I don't have to hand dry anything. I know it's ridiculous, but it brings a smile to my face. Next is to get my work table all cleaned up. This becomes the catch-all during the week. So I have a box of food for the food pantry that needs to go. I have some canned goods I need to label and put away. Silicone mats to go back in my baking shelf. Potatoes that need a home. Just things that need to go somewhere else. So I'm going to knock this out real quick. Another thing I like to do in my kitchen is I save all my eggshells. And I actually just put them right back in their container, and I let them dry out. So these are nice and dry. While it looks like there's liquid in there, it isn't. They're nice and dry. I don't wash them. I don't bother with any of that. I just let them dry out, and then I take them and I'll put them in this bag and put some in this bag, and then I'll show you. Zip it up. Put it on my counter, and I take a jar, just an empty jar, and close them up. Super easy. Great job for kids if you've got them. And just pulverize them up, right like that, and then I'll add them to my jar. And come summertime, I will use these in my garden. Oh, and I forgot to mention, these egg cartons make perfect little greenhouses when you're starting seeds. So I take the paper out of the top, and you can clean the glue out if you want to. I don't worry about it. And then I put dirt in here and my seeds and water them, and then cover them up like so, and place them wherever I'm going to start my seeds. They work great. So with the wooden table, now that it's been cleaned off, I'd like to hit it with some food grade mineral oil. Just because, especially in the winter time, wood gets very dehydrated, and when wood gets dehydrated, it gets brittle. So you really need to stay on top of, especially with antique furniture, you need to stay on top of keeping it nice and moist. So I'm going to do this. I'll put a coat on, let it sit for a while, and then come back and see how it looks. If it looks dry again, I'll put another coat, and then I'll let it dry overnight before I put anything back on this table. Next thing getting ready is to sort and do some laundry. If you can get your hands on one of these, I think it's actually meant to be recycle bins. They work great to separate your laundry out, and then get laundry done. Try and keep everything nice and organized, so that it's quick, easy. You don't have to go looking for anything. I like to try and keep my laundry room clean so I don't have to take a bunch of things off of my washer in order to start a load. Every once in a while a load does end up hanging out in the dryer, but I try to be really good about doing all of the laundry at once and being completely done with it. So one of the things I do to save space is I use super concentrated laundry detergent. So this is the kind I like to use, and I use the unscented version. And the beauty about it is all I need is this tiny little cup, and that's enough for my larger load. And that's it. I'll go around and gather all the towels, all the kitchen towels, all the bathroom towels, everything, and get them cleaned up. Then I'll give everything a sweep, and even though we try to take our shoes off right when we come inside, it still ends up being a lot of dust and dirt in certain places, and the kitchen in particular is where the back door is, so that's where we come and go all the time with our outside shoes, and so you just end up with extra dirt. I like to give everything a quick mop. Try and do this once a week, and then once a month I do a really good mopping. This is more of just a spot mop right now, and the cat has to supervise. The next thing I like to do is season my pan. So give it a good cleaning after it was used a bunch this week, and I'll rub it around. This is just a regular cotton washcloth with some dish soap on it. And I know a lot of people out there will say, oh, you can't put soap on it. You do you. This is how it works for me. I get it nice and clean with some dish soap, and I like to wipe it down until my rag is clean. You might not be able to tell, but it's a little bit brown right now, so I'm going to rinse it real quick in my sink. And do that again. Just get it nice and clean. Okay. Then I'll take my dry one and dry it out. And then take some high heat olive oil. You don't need much. And then take your dry rag, rub it around. And this is the point where a lot of people would stick it in a warm oven and let it bake for so ever many hours or until their oven was cool. I don't like to do that just because it's an inconvenience. So I just put some oil on it and give it a good rub. Make sure there's no standing oil in it. So the first time that I put oil in it, you'll see my rag came up dirty, even though my other one was coming up clean. Once you put the oil in there and it got in all those crevices, it found some more dirt. So I put oil on it, wipe all of that out, and then I put fresh oil in so that I have a nice clean surface. And so this I will just hang back up where I leave it. You don't want to leave this sitting on a counter or shelf or anything, because a lot of times moisture will accumulate under the bottom as this metal heats and cools with the changing temperatures in your home. It will sweat and that bottom will rust. So I like to always make sure mine are hanging somewhere where they can stay nice and dry. But yeah, hope that was helpful. Okay, so that's pretty much it. My kitchen has been reset. You can see this table looks beautiful now, nice and clean. I wiped down my trash can. I swept and mopped my floors. I got all of my counters clean, my stove clean, everything back where it's supposed to be, everything stocked properly. I do still have a load of dishes to do, and then when these dry, these will go away. But everything is nice and orderly. Got the tea and coffee station straight for in the mornings. Silverware is back where it's supposed to be. Napkins, the water's refilled. There's new dish towels. And so now we're ready to go. We're ready for the week, and we've set ourselves up well.